And there we go. We should be live on YouTube. We should be live on Twitch. We should be live on Twitter. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's your boy G, along with Alec, every episode of Texas 300. Appreciate y'all for tuning back in. Make sure you continue to show love on our platforms, as always, that we mentioned at first as well. Follow LA Sports Report on all platforms. A lot of great stuff going on there. Excited to get into a lot of good stuff today. Usually it's all NFL. We're going to start with NFL today. There's plenty to get to in regards to the conference championship and the Super Bowl that we're going to get to. But there's also a whole lot of NBA news we want to talk about as well. So, fun jam-packed episode today. Excited to get into it all. As we mentioned in the last note, as you see here on LA Sports Report, which I mentioned, clips will be on LA Sports Report after the show drops over the next couple of days of segments of the show. You guys can go back and watch if you desire on the YouTube page. So all this out the way. Now as we take a second to step back, Alec, you good, bro? How you feeling?
I'm good. I was content with the slate of playoff games we got this past weekend. It was much closer. Yeah. Much closer games beyond your Ravens, who took care of business fairly early, took command of that game. But other than that, a lot of really competitive games. So I was content.
Thoroughly enjoyed it all. Definitely was a great weekend. And we'll go ahead and start here. We'll get to our other things in a moment. But just saw last weekend in the NFL, the divisional round was another great weekend of football. We got the Ravens beating the Texans, which was great. We've got the Niners beating the Packers, as you see. The Bucks almost getting past the line, but the Lions making sure they got the job done there. And the Bills falling short to the Chiefs yet again. So fun stuff there. Where you want to start with that? What stood out to you most of this last weekend?
What stood out most was probably how dominant the Ravens were. But I think all four games kind of went, for the most part, according to what we expected. That was only one we had like maybe slight concern about, but any concerns that were there had to be completely squashed right now with how the MVP is playing at this point in Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. So we can start there.
Yeah, let me have my moment, because there were a lot of folks that came out. I'm not sure. I like CJ. I kind of want to lean CJ. I kind of want to pick the Texans. I'm not sure how this is going to go. And the Ravens came out and shut CJ's down. He didn't score a touchdown. The only touchdown came from a kick return at the end the first half. So, the Ravens went out and showed that they are truly a top dog in the AFC, at least right now, and deserve full recognition for that. Lamar had a slow first half as they were trying to figure out how to adjust to the Texans team, who sent a lot of blitzes at him early on. He had to adjust to that and not being able to stay in the pocket, as he now likes to do a whole lot, and adjusted to it. And the second half opened things up, got back to some of his old ways. He allowed himself to run a little bit more and really open things up. Again, I think it was a record, or he just another hallmark or another mark for him. 100+ yards passing, 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns rushing, two passing touchdowns. Just was clicking on all cylinders, and it was a very impressive second half, at least, that I enjoyed and was glad we broke away. There are folks that were like, "Hey, I told y'all about the Texans are going to come back," and they're about, because it was 10-10 at halftime, but Ravens handled business and broke away as need be. So definitely impressed with them. Going on from there, the one we can also speak past in a way, going to the NFC side, the Lions and the Bucks. The Lions held on to the victory there, 31-23. How you feel about Detroit getting to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 50 years or whatever it's been?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be happy for Detroit being able to make it this far after having so many really tough years. Those fans feel like they deserve a little bit of happiness after 30+ years of turmoil there. But yeah, I mean, they've got a really solid team across the board. I think the secondary has been the one kind of issue for this team, but thankfully, like they've gone against a team in Tampa Bay this last round that also has a secondary that you can exploit, and they were able to do so. Jared Goff looked phenomenal in this game. He had a couple dimes, especially that touchdown.
They didn't believe. I kept trying to tell y'all about Jared, man. He locked in right now. He's looking very well. So love to see it.
Yeah, he dropped one in the bucket there for Amon-Ra in the corner of the end zone, which was beautiful to see. And he was just diming up. And conversely, on the other side, Baker Mayfield, I think, also solidified himself as being the guy, at least for next year, for Tampa Bay, their franchise guy, because he looked great himself. I think over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had the 2 interceptions, but the one early on was off of Mike Evans' hands once again. I don't know what's up with Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And then the second one, of course, kind of sealed the game, sealed their fate at the end. But he also played a great game too. So it was a salute to the Buccaneers making it a lot farther than we expected them to this season and making
I
it a
might have
fight.
got trolled. I might have got trolled, and if I'm wrong on this, my apologies. But I saw a few tweets that said Baker might earn himself a like $25 million a year short-term contract
Nice.
for
He
the
might.
Bucks. So if he earned his money a little bit, coming from where he was, former Rams legend we talk about, who was on short-term deals trying to find his way, if he has bounced back and solidified himself back in Tampa Bay, all praise to him, and I hope things continue to work out for him for the time being. So yeah, salute to them for what they put up. Nobody saw this coming, and glad they had that moment. And obviously glad that the Lions got the victory, and we'll move on from there. So yeah, anything else you want to say with them?
Yeah, just a hungry team is a dangerous team as well. Like I probably view them as the fourth best team of the remaining four. Even with Kansas City kind of fluttering at moments, I still, it's like we talked about. It's hard to bet against Mahomes, especially in the playoffs.
We'll get to it.
But even with them maybe being the worst team left of the four, like they do have great playmakers. Credit to their GM and just the draft that they had this last draft class. That their rookies have come in and immediately made an impact between Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs and others. Like
the last few classes that have they've been hitting on all of those. So yeah, that's when they turned around, and love to see it.
Yeah, so these young guys can still be dangerous against a 49ers team who weren't really able to put Green Bay away. Green Bay kind of lost this game in a way more
Very
than
much so.
49ers won it. So it should be interesting next week.
Very much so, and we'll go straight there. Niners, Packers definitely was a very fun matchup. What was the final score? 24-21. Packers had the ball to close the game, and Jordan Love, who had been impressive for most of the way to this moment, had his first young mistake throwing in that pass across the field, trying to squeeze the ball in between three defenders to his guy downfield, and it didn't work out. And the Niners were able to hold on and get the job done. What was your biggest takeaway from that game?
Yeah, I think one that Jordan Love is a potential star in this league. I mean, like he still played a phenomenal game, as you said, beyond kind of trying to make a hero play when he didn't really have to yet. Like I think it was only second down, so he didn't really have to try that.
He ran something.
Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a testament to how much he trusts his arm as far as trying to make that. But it's of course an ill-advised pass in that scenario into double, triple coverage as well. It was
right.
It was kind of a head scratcher for many, but
very much so.
I don't think it erases how good he's been for the last several weeks and how good he was in this game as well too, against a decent defense. So yeah, I think he stood out to me as a potential top 10 guy QB in this league.
Yeah.
And then for me, for the 49ers, I think just that they were able to still come out with a win and not playing their best and not in the greatest of conditions. Obviously, we saw like Purdy like trying to wipe his hands off in the rain and stuff, trying to get a good grip on the ball. He seems like he really struggles in the rain.
I think he had gloves on first half, took him off at some point. He was going back and forth trying to figure out just how to keep a firm grip on the ball. So yeah, it was a struggle for folks.
Yeah, but once he kind of got the hang of it, like he had a really impressive drive to end it there to get their I guess essentially game-winning drive where they went on to score in the fourth and made a lot of big throws there. But I think this is probably like the worst end of how you can see them play based off of the conditions and everything. I think you're going to get a better version of them in this next week. So they still remain very dangerous. Obviously, I think we've seen them as the second best team in the league for quite some time now. I think they are still that. So it should be a fun matchup for sure.
They definitely are still that. Also within that, McCaffrey still able to eat even in the rain. So even if Purdy's not having the best of games, they have other guys that can turn to after people have made their points about all season long. They can carry them. Even with Debo out as well. Debo was out early.
And I think it's questionable for this next week, probably.
Still having Ayuk, still having Kittle, still having McCaffrey back there. Purdy should be just fine. And the big thing from both games that I asked you about the takeaways for that game and the Chiefs game that we'll get to in a moment, with both those, like you don't have to necessarily be perfect in every game, but when it's time to make a play, you just find a way to make a play. And the Niners definitely did that.
They did, yeah.
Purdy did that. Folks talking about how he had a bad game. Technically, sure, yes, he did. But when he was trying to make a play, he found a way to get the ball into guys' hands.
Yep.
Guys stood up for him as well. James made that incredible catch down in the middle of the field.
Yeah. It was a great throw too. Yeah,
absolutely. So it wasn't necessarily about having a complete game. It's about making the plays when it's time to win that will get you over the hump, and they did just that. So salute to them for getting the job done. We still have, I think we both had picked before the playoffs, Niners and Ravens get to the Super Bowl, still on track, and because they held on, it very well could still play out. So just salute to them on that side. And then I'll transition to the Bills and the Chiefs with that as well. Just to say that to the point I made about making plays, we saw with the Chiefs and Bills that both teams didn't necessarily play perfect either, but the Bills found ways to lose that game while the Chiefs found ways to hold on. So it's the third straight time the Bills, I believe, have fallen short to the Chiefs. And they have their number, and it is what it is. What are your thoughts about that game as well?
Yeah, the Bills and Josh Allen can't get that Mahomes monkey off their back. I understand that, like, this is a generational talent we're dealing with.
Very tough hurdle, but come on now.
It was tough because I don't really think you can put much, if any, blame on Josh Allen for this loss. You can talk about the one missed throw. You can talk about the missed throw for the touchdown that was underthrown. But a lot of times he gets shitted on for taking shots when he shouldn't and putting the ball in harm's way. He took care of the football. He was efficient with it. He ran in for 2 touchdowns. He threw a touchdown. He did pretty much all you can ask for. So it's like we can't like pick and choose like our argument against him. Like we gotta like be consistent because most times it's like he's a gunslinger. He's doing too much with it. And this time he was more conservative. He was hitting his guys. And some guys weren't making plays. Like he threw a perfect ball to Stephon Diggs, who's been really disappointing.
I was going to stop you right there. Stephon Diggs, I think deserves more blame. I guess you want to play the blame game, but if someone to point to, Stephon Diggs has not been the same Stephon the last half of the season, really, that we had thought he would be. Him continuing to fall short again in this game, especially with Gabe Davis out as well. You get other guys like Shakir and Sheffield, I believe it was, trying to step up, and Shakir did okay, and Sheffield almost made a play, but he fell short himself. So having guys come short and not having a star, you can be able to cover for some of their woes. It definitely was a hard time for them. So folks are talking about this being potentially the end of the Diggs era in Buffalo. He was supposed to be the guy that was the 1-2 punch with Allen to get them over the hump. Things have fallen short again. There's the infamous photo of him yet again standing there after the game looking at the Chiefs.
A lot of photoshops
and all of that.
They
think that might be the last time we see it, and he might be going on to hopefully greener pastures. We'll see. But tough times for them. And any thoughts on Diggs or the Bills in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough scene for Stephon Diggs for several weeks now. He hasn't been that type of star talent we've known him to be, and people were crediting like Josh Allen's success with Diggs, like saying that he wasn't anything before Diggs got there, and of course, like he elevated their play, but now it's kind of been their detriment. Like he makes that play, they might win this game. We don't know if Mahomes gets the ball late. It's still a possibility that the Chiefs go down and drive once again. But it hurt losing in that fashion that they did as well, with going for the field goal to tie and Bass missing that kick.
Man.
I know that was painful for Buffalo fans. But it's got to feel like an insurmountable like mountain, I guess, for the Bills going against Kansas City at this point. They talked all that stuff about Mahomes having to come into their arena and play on the road in Buffalo. And what did he say after the game in the locker room? He was talking to his team. They had a what's it called? Like post game, whatever celebration in the locker room, and Mahomes was talking about like they got what they asked for, essentially. And so that's essentially what went down. They asked for the smoke and they got the smoke, and they got the same result. So Chiefs once again, Patrick Mahomes, 6 years as a starter, 6 years in AFC Championship games. What are you gonna do, man?
As we said before, when we're picking the games, like I'm not rooting against him until I have to. So until he proves me wrong is what we said. So he's had to prove us wrong. So here it is, and now we go up against my Ravens squad, which now puts me to the test again about how we feel this is going to go. So, yeah, before we get to that, again, just real quick, a salute to the Chiefs for finding a way. They've been down all season long, and this is the down year for the Chiefs, and things are falling off, and it's beginning the end of the era, and Kelsey's retiring, and all kinds of stuff being swirled around with this squad. Some of it which may still be true, who knows?
Right, yeah.
Just in regards to them being a downfall, they're going to fall short this year. They have not fallen short and have continued to match the standard that they have maintained since Mahomes entered the building. So, yeah, great things from them. And now they have their biggest challenge, even beyond the Bills, who are a great foe, going up against this now rolling Ravens squad in the AFC Championship game. And we'll go there as we know, move on to the last part of this. As you see the tag, also can't forget, we're getting the Usher concert in this too. So excited for that and looking forward to what's going to be on the way there. But in regards to the game still, who's opening for the Usher concert? Who you think is going to make it through the AFC Championship game to the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, as much as it is tough to bet against Mahomes and his greatness, it truly does feel like we talked about, like, this is the Ravens' year. Like, this is their opportunity to seize the moment, where there's a bit more of a crack in the door there than there usually is with the Chiefs or the Bengals of past seasons. It feels like there's a real opportunity here with the MVP leading them. How well that defense, I mean, the Ravens defense is great. It seems like every year you could just count on it. But just how elite that they've been recently, especially on that defensive unit. And man, I'm not sure if they're going to get Andrews back this week, but even without him last week, they were great. And just adding him to that mix would only be a plus. But I think we get another great game because Mahomes is that great. Kelsey looked like himself again. He was making plays. Rashee Rice has really blossomed in his rookie season. And the run game has still been productive with Pacheco and at times change of pace with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I think it is a very competitive game. Both games at this point are. But I do think the Ravens are able to edge them out in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a great game. Definitely all you said about the Ravens and how they've gotten rolling. Adding Andrews, who they do believe will be back. Adding to Likely, who's been playing great all season long as well, will surely be a great piece to have in Lamar's arsenal. And I think Lamar's ready for the moment. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith both been talking a whole lot about them being ready for the moment. Guys understand what the weight of the situation that they're in and are not letting it crush them. They're stepping up to the plate and swinging for the fences. So yeah, I definitely think they're going to continue to play. They're going to play another great game versus this Chiefs squad. I'm also stepping back. I think, as we've seen pretty much throughout the whole playoffs, the flaw of the team shows at some point, not in regards to the Ravens, but I'm saying for the teams that have lost, whatever their flaw was, eventually caught up to them. We saw in the last game with the Bills, the lack of being in sync with the receivers and what's going on with that offense came to their detriment. The kicking obviously played its part as well, or just them finding ways to fall short to the Bills have been an issue. We saw with the Packers, their youth that actually caught up to them. Also, the kicker, Carlson, I believe, had been missing kicks also. That played its part as well. You can back up from there and talk about the Eagles' woes and how they fell apart in week one, as we talked about in the first round of the playoffs, or the Cowboys, how they fell short because of their yearly just meltdowns in the playoffs. So believing that trend will continue. We have seen elevation from Kelsey, and we have seen Pacheco and guys like that continue to elevate. But I do think at some point the Ravens are a team that could make Mahomes have to look elsewhere. And we haven't quite seen the other guys step up yet. We saw McCole Hardman fumble twice last game.
My goodness.
We didn't see Tony get targeted a whole lot last game either. So they make them the main targets in this game. While obviously we still could see Kelsey and Pacheco and Rashee Rice as well continue to eat a little bit. I think the Ravens have enough scheme there to slow them down to allow Lamar and the boy and that offense to get ahead. So still sticking with my original pick from the beginning of the season, which I'm glad has continued to play out. I roll with the Ravens in this game, and I think the Chiefs and people and their doubts or whatever the concerns they have about them, this is where it finally gets them. So going with the Ravens in that one, and it's going to be a great game, and excited to see how that plays out there. So good stuff on that side. Going down to the opposite side in regards to the Niners and the Lions, how do you see that one going?
Yeah, I think, as I said, you kind of got the worst version of the Niners last week. I think you get a better version of them this week. As you mentioned, McCaffrey was able to really kind of gouge that Packers defense. I don't know that he's able to run on them as efficiently as he was against Green Bay, because the Lions do have a good solid run defense. They struggle in the secondary in the passing game, but I think McCaffrey is dynamic enough to affect the game in multiple ways, so he will still have an impact. Purdy, I think just being able to get the ball to Ayuk or Juwan Jennings or Kittle. Even if Debo is out, I think they do have enough in the passing game to exploit this Lions secondary, who was making Baker. I talked about the dots that Jared Goff was throwing. Baker was throwing some dots out there too, and throwing on them pretty easily at times. I think Purdy, we've seen him do it several weeks of this season where he was able to exploit bad passing defenses. So I think Purdy can get the ball in playmakers' hands. And the 49ers just have to get some pressure on Jared Goff, as you mentioned, in terms of the flaws. The flaws for the Lions are the secondary and Goff once he's under pressure. Like if they keep a clean pocket for Goff, he's able to take advantage of defenses. But Chase Young and Nick Bosa, if they're able to, or Greenlaw in the linebacker core, if they're able to apply pressure to the Lions, I think that's how they can really take advantage and put pressure on this Lions team. But I do think the 49ers win this game.
Again, with these emoji things, but again, to your point about the woes and things and the concerns about the Lions and what could be going on with them, definitely agree with you. I do agree with that. But I will say that I do think the Packers laid somewhat of a blueprint, we can kind of say, in regards to how you could scheme around those DNs that the Niners have. They were doing a lot of different blocking schemes that allowed the ends, the tight ends, or they even put a receiver there at times to do a little chip block on those ends as the lineman will come around to maybe slow down those Chase Young and Bosa and give Jordan Love a few more moments to get passes off as he was. So if the Lions can pick a little bit from what the Packers just did and now clean it up as the Packers were unable to do, I think there are ways to, at least on that front, slow things down and allow Jared to have some of a clean pocket. Going on from there, talking about the woes and things, I do agree with you about the secondary being able to be picked apart. And while we could technically, and some folks might say that Purdy might be a down spot for the Niners, I think he plays well enough and has shown that he has earned the respect to say that he will overcome whatever the Lions potentially could throw at him, and that they'll be able to withstand that and get ahead. So I think this is a great season for the Lions. I think this is where it comes to an end. Sadly, I'd love to be wrong, as I've been having my joke about the Niners all season long. I've been praising I've been having my jokes about the Niners and been praising the Lions. So I would love to be wrong in this, but I think the Niners have been fed up for the past couple of years, just in regards to just taking a step back as well. They've got to the Super Bowl and fell short. They had the down year with all the injuries. They came back and fell short again. They've been wanting to get back here for some time now. I don't think this group, as good of a core they put together, is going to fall short on Super Bowl yet again because of whatever Jared Goff and those guys throw at them. I think they're going to be ready for it and get the job done. So still sticking with my original pick of the Niners and the Ravens, and very excited to see how this goes. So
go ahead. I was saying one other element is that the Lions have set themselves up well to this point with getting home field advantage and being able to have these home games in their home stadium, in their dome. But another element is that they're going to have to go on the road and play the 49ers as well. So
Jared Goff is from up there. Amon-Ra is an SC kid. He's been here at least on the West Coast, so he knows what's going on. There are a few guys that have dealt with the weather a little bit. So yes, it'll technically be new for them, but they'll be great. The weather, I don't think, will be an issue.
No, not necessarily weather, but golf on the road is a bit of a thing too as well versus golf at home. Yeah.
So we gave a lot of praise in our prediction and talked about how we think this is going to play out, and we both agreed for how this will go. Just for the sake of it, real quick, how would it be flipped? How do you see a way for the Lions to win this game? Do you see a way for the Chiefs to win this game? How could you see potentially it going the other way?
Yeah, as you said, the Packers kind of laid the blueprint. Same thing I said as far as getting pressure on Goff, getting pressure on Purdy too, like collapsing that pocket, taking advantage of, like, there's been a few times where we've seen in that Ravens game on Christmas and even in that Packers game where the pocket collapsed a bit, guys able to get their arms up and deflect passes and wreak havoc in that way. So if they're able to get pressure on Purdy and make him uncomfortable, not able to get to his reads, because he reads the field pretty well, but if they don't allow him to get to progress through his reads, Goff did correct. Goff typically doesn't on the road. He has a few times this season though. But yeah, if they're able to get pressure on Purdy, I could see it maybe playing out differently, as well as if the 49ers defense themselves isn't able to keep the Lions from getting the explosive plays. Jahmyr Gibbs himself is a very explosive player. Amon-Ra can get loose. They have guys that can be dangerous.
We saw a little bit. Aaron Jones was kind of getting busy versus them a little bit, so they can utilize Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery. It very well is possible that they can break away. So yeah, I definitely see that as well.
Yeah, and then to the Chiefs side, I mean, we talked about it. It's still Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. Yeah. None of us will be shocked if the Chiefs manage to win this game.
No,
it just feels like the Ravens are primed to do it. Finally, they have the more complete roster. They don't really have the flaws that you can see in other teams to their extent. It feels like the Ravens' time, but it wouldn't be a shocker if Mahomes get the ball last. I would say keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands
until the very last second.
Yeah,
I think as well, as we've seen in a couple of games, and the Bills just suffered from it. I think it's going to be a blessing for us to have just Justin Tucker. I think having a few extra field goals throughout the game as need be, not having to point in situations, being able to kick a few field goals and add 3 more points here and there on the board will really be helpful. So this might be an MVP performance from Justin Tucker actually this game, hopefully. But I definitely could see it. I think I say in the chat, like, in a way, not fully, of course, I'm a Ravens guy, but Mahomes won me over in a way because I was hating as many folks were. I'm like, dude, like, this guy is great, man. Like, I can't, as much as I want to be mad, like, I was laughing the whole Bills game. Like,
he's kind of doing the Brady thing, man.
Huh?
He's kind of doing this version of Brady at this point, where like it's hard to bet against him. Even when we've seen the flaws this year, and we're still like, we still said he could win a couple playoff games.
Brady, you didn't believe Brady was actually that good early on. Like, you thought it was just the team
early on. That's true.
True. Mahomes is just carrying guys, so it definitely feels like this is a little bit different. But definitely do at least respect a whole lot what Mahomes is doing right now. So salute to him. And I'd be hurt, of course, yet again, but I definitely be tuned to the Super Bowl, and we'll talk about that more as we go along. So a lot of good stuff going on in these playoffs. We'll talk about it more as things go on here, but want to move on from there. Now we spend a whole lot of time with that. Hopefully y'all have a lot to say about what's going to go on in these games coming up, and we'll be back throughout the rest of the week. We'll have at least one more stream, hopefully this week, to talk about what is next and give our last review. But good stuff there. Now as we move on to our LA things, we even want to talk about this and continue to give focus back to our LA squads, starting with the Rams. And as we do that, again, show love to LA Sports Report. This is the clips you're about to see. The talks you're about to see will be on their platforms going forward. Going to the Rams and what's going on with them. The season now is wrapped up. And the most notable thing that I wanted to address was that the season now wrapped up. We can finally put a full debate to CJ Stroud and Puka Nacua. So CJ Stroud's season came to an end to the Ravens we just talked about in the playoffs right now. Puka Nacua his season came to an end in the playoffs as well. But we saw how great they were helping their teams get to the position that they were. So now the season is fully coming to an end. Who do you have this year as Rookie of the Year? Do you have Puka or CJ?
Man, this answer feels like a cop-out, but they've done like co-awards before, right? Like this feels like it could be a co-Rookie of the Offensive Rookie of the Year type award, just with how great CJ has been and leading them from a 3-win team to a 10-win team into the playoffs, and a playoff win in the first round. And then Puka Nacua had a historical season himself as a rookie. Like, it's hard for him to have that and not get the award too.
Right.
Would be tough. Just a 60-year record that he broke it with the rookie receiving yards. I think he had over 1,400 on the year.
Crazy.
He stepped in immediately when Kupp was out, and we thought the season was all but over early on in the early weeks. He immediately shot onto the scene and maintained that level of play, and it had probably the best game of any player in that matchup against the Lions, with 180 plus yards and a touchdown in that game too. So,
right.
I mean, he's a bona fide star receiver in this league. CJ, a bona fide star QB in this league already, both as rookies. So I think they're both deserving. If you have to choose one, it's probably CJ. The quarterback gets a little bit more love, and the bounce back that they had from last season.
I was gonna say he's been playing a lot of media games recently too. There's been a lot of love shown to him online, and he's doing a lot of interviews and things.
Deservedly so. Yeah.
And it's also just beyond that. It's Oscar time right now. Anytime I think there's a lot of award shows going on, you see that there's a lot of agendas at play, campaigning agendas at play. I think CJ Stroud putting a good campaign beyond what already is on the field with his numbers, but also in the media as he's won a lot of folks over as well. So yeah, I think CJ gets it, but I agree with you that it could go either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, I wouldn't be mad at Puka getting it as our Rams guy because I think he's very much deserving too. But very, very 1A, 1B type race. Yeah.
Correct. So salute to both of them. Definitely good stuff. On topic of rookies here in LA, one also showed love to Kobe Turner. He was just singing the national anthem at the Kings game.
Renaissance man.
Did you see that at all? Any thoughts on what Kobe did this last week?
I did not see it, but he had a great rookie year himself on the defensive side for the Rams. One of the few bright spots on our defensive unit this past season. So good for him. I didn't know he was a Renaissance man like this, and had some pipes as well. Could sing. So salute to him, and salute to the Kings as well. Wish them well for the rest of their season. But
my next question is: have you ever been to a Kings game?
I have not. I have been to a few hockey games. Out in Tucson, a couple people took me out to Tucson Roadrunners games. So that's minor league hockey. They really grinding out there in the minor leagues. They respect the grind. I respect the grind. So it was fun. It's a fun atmosphere for sure. It's a little bit different than some other sporting events in there. It can get a little let's see, patriotic in there is what I'll say as well too. Try to choose my words wisely there, but the hockey arena could definitely be a very, very fun experience. I got to get to a Kings game soon too.
Definitely. I haven't been to a game myself, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. Definitely on the list. Hopefully somebody on the Kings sees this can send some tickets over for us, and we'll definitely be tuned into that. I'll definitely salute to them for what they're doing, and they're glad that they gave Kobe some shine there. And excited to see what's next with him and the Kings as their things go along there. The last part with that, as you see him singing the national anthem, I guess I wanted to ask you, what is the best national anthem you've seen in person? I mean, going to a game or
best song?
Yeah, like the West, when you're in person, you heard somebody singing, you're like, oh wow, like they cooked right here.
I feel like that's happened a couple of times, but I don't know that I can remember who was singing. I feel like it's sometimes like it's the random person that like you're like, oh damn, like they got some real pipes on them kind of thing. Right. But I can't remember like a celebrity because I feel like the celebrity ones that we remember are like the funny bad ones. What's her name, like Fergie or whatever, like singing the national anthem at the All-Star game. Right. Like the memorable ones are the funny ones like that are memeable, but I can't remember like a really like great one that I remember beyond like the classic, like Whitney Houston type stuff.
And then that I've seen in person. Of course, I remember all the ones that we've seen just in general, but in person, the Mystic Sparks game we went to was crazy. I forgot their name though.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. Yeah.
Okay. So that must be a good one for y'all. I was trying to think of it before I even asked this. I couldn't think of one I've seen myself. Mm-hmm. I guess if any came to mind, random, but I think at my in high school a while ago, it was a brother and sister. The brother played the
cello?
The cello. They played the cello, and she sang. And the way that they did it, everybody was like, "Oh, they're like," everyone started cheering during like mid song and everything. They went crazy. So I can't remember their names. My apologies if they somehow catch wind of this. My bad. But from my high school, way back.
All right.
One. And then from there, I think in person that would be it. Just in general. Obviously, there's all the big name ones. It's not people have started to come around to it and acknowledge it as well. But just between us, I think it was the Super Bowl last year. I think Chris Stapleton, whoever that was last year,
I don't remember.
Whoever dude that was, he went crazy. So yeah, there've been a few races recently that caught my attention. So this is a fun thing seeing what Kobe did. Reminded me of those moments. I mean, definitely appreciate those as games get underway.
Who said it? I forget if Vince Staples said it or whoever, but the national anthem don't even really slap like that. So I'm not paying attention.
Folks find a way to twist it up a little bit. It definitely can be great. So salute to them for how they do it to make it stand out. So fun stuff with the Rams. Yeah. So Matt says, well, Chris Hickman was one of the good ones. I remember that was last year. I was I didn't know who he was before that. So
I don't know about that. I don't know about that language, Matt. One of the good ones. I don't know. I don't know, man.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Oh man, but yeah, definitely good stuff. The last thing with the Rams, as things have now in the offseason, there's a lot of stuff we can be focused on as we look to rebuild this squad. Are there any big swings you want to see the Rams take this offseason? You want to see them go get I don't even know, but just as you're just looking at the offseason, is there anything you want to see the Rams really push for to get them over the hump next season and beyond?
That's a good question. I mean, it's definitely the secondary. Like we're missing like real playmakers at that spot. I don't know like who the big names who would be available would be on that end. I feel like it would probably more so have to be trade. I'm not really abreast as far as like who's going to be on the free agent market. I think there's maybe a couple Bills guys defensively that are going to be available.
Yeah, a few of those guys.
So maybe there's someone on that end, but it would definitely have to be on the defensive side for me. I don't feel like they need a big splashy name on offense because you have Stafford, you have Puka and Kupp, you got Kyron. I think, as you mentioned, like a change of pace guy maybe for running back so that they don't have to rely on Kyron to play 93% of the snaps or whatever he was playing. But beyond that, I don't really think they need a big splashy guy on offense. I think it would more so be on the defensive side,
Yeah, I definitely asked this for your thoughts, but in my own just answer to the question, I kind of want them to be quiet. Like I want them kind of sneak up on folks. I don't want them to really go and get a bunch of big names that everybody kind of sees coming. I kind of want them to just keep drafting the right way that we've been doing. Keep finding the random guys that we find out of nowhere. Find another DeMarcus Robinson, whoever as a receiver that shined in the last couple weeks of the season. Keep just finding small name guys that don't get folks' attention. And then when the season comes around, it's like, oh wait, who's this team that all of a sudden is the top of the NFC. So we'd love for them to do that and lay low actually this summer and build as they've been for the last year. So
I trust McVay and the GM over there to make those late round picks. Like they found Puka in the 5th round, they found Kyron in the 5th round. So I trust them to be able to identify talent and develop it as well too. So to your point, like don't necessarily have to make the big splashy move because we've got the ability to find guys and have them make immediate impacts.
Very much so. So excited for all of that. And we'll definitely continue to address things as they come along. That really is it right now for the Rams. For those that tune into this part on LA Sports Report, appreciate the love. Make sure you subscribe to the show. We're going to have a lot of great things for you on the page there this week and beyond. So definitely appreciate all the love you show there. Now moving on from the Rams, going to the other side in regards to the Chargers. It seems like we're on our way to officially signing Coach Harbaugh. There have been talks for the last couple of weeks now about whether things will be finalized. He went through interviews, had one interview. I think by the time he got serious, he'll have a second interview done. And in the second interview, they allegedly are just looking to get the contract things worked out as he looks to be in line to be joining us here. So though it's unofficial for us right now, by the time folks see this, it might be official. What are your thoughts on Harbaugh going to the Chargers?
It might. Yeah, I think he was probably like number 2. I don't know where you landed as far as who you wanted as the number 1 guy.
One A, 1B between Belichick and Harbaugh. We kind of lean towards Belichick, but Harbaugh would be great as well.
Yeah, I think both guys would, and I think Harbaugh would be a great hire for them. Someone who has had some success with that 49ers team in the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl. A guy that's had the ultimate success at Michigan, and despite the short suspension and the sign stealing debacle, he was able to get through that, get his team through that, and get the chance.
I like that coach can take some chances. Taking chances, Harbaugh. We appreciate that.
Not afraid to bend the rules a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
You gotta bob and weave a little bit. Do what you gotta do.
Hey, Belichick has done that in the past too, and
exactly.
we had both of them as top guys for potentially getting the job. So I guess there is a little bit to that, and guys that will take every extra inch they can to get a a step ahead on their opponent, I guess you would say.
Absolutely.
But beyond the jokes, I think he is a really solid coach. That Harbaugh family definitely can coach for sure,
Dang.
as we see, and he's uh, got that title under his belt in Michigan, and I'm sure is hungry for doing the same, and bringing this Chargers team out of whatever curse it is, and bringing them some success in the playoffs. So I think he would be a great fit for them, someone who can change the culture, hopefully a little bit,
Hmm.
and help to elevate this team, who always has those lofty expectations and on paper, and has seemed to disappoint. So I think he would be definitely a positive hire for this team.
Definitely a positive hire, definitely exciting, and would love to again just celebrate him as once that becomes a truly official, and hopefully again by the time y'all see this that it is. And yeah, I definitely think he could bring some toughness to this Chargers squad, and some moxie and all the great things that he possesses to the squad that we've been missing for some time there. So very very excited to have him on staff here, and he's looking forward to what is next. Seeing where he has come from with Michigan, seeing where he was at with the Niners before that, what would you like to see Harbaugh implement from his past teams with the Chargers?
Hmm. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not sure that what jumps out to me immediately. Is there something that comes to mind for you in terms of his
Sure.
philosophy?
I'll definitely go
Yeah.
there. There are a couple of things. You see this picture here. Blake Corum was a great running back for this Michigan squad this last year, having
Yeah.
a tough back that could do a whole lot for the offense, and took a lot of pressure off JJ McCarthy. Folks have said JJ had all the thoughts about JJ, whatever the case may have been, but he was able to produce as he was because he had a great backfield mate in Blake Corum there. So getting a guy again next to Justin Herbert, if he can bring the best back out of Austin Eckler somehow and do that, that'd be great. But with him seeming to be out the door, going to find somebody else young, I don't know if it would be Corman exactly him entering the draft himself, but just finding another back to go next to Herbert would be great to continue to rebuild this offense. Also, as we've seen in the past, that Harbaugh has had great tight ends. We had Vernon Davis with the Niners as well. So only getting a good tight end target that he can turn, that Herbert can go to beyond the weapons are already on the outside, I think will be very helpful for him as things go along. So the toughness and all of that we can say as well for sure. Having a defense of both these squads, the Niners for sure had a great defense. Michigan had a great defense. Keeping that built up as he continues to do, surely would be very helpful as well. As we saw our woes last year, even with Staley supposed to be the defensive expert that he was, things did not go as planned. So, I think if he can actually get the defense where it's supposed to be and then get the right pieces around Herbert as he's done with his teams in the past, I would love to see how he makes that happen this time around in LA. So, we'd love to see that.
Yeah, I definitely co-sign the running game point, especially even if it's not Harbaugh. I think they needed to bring some balance there to the
Real
offense.
quick, now I will say this with all due respect.
Oh, where are we going here?
With all due respect, there are rumors because we saw as well on this Niners squad that the OC for this squad was Greg Roman, and we saw how things went in Baltimore. With all due respect, I would rather not.
You're saying like as a Chargers supporter, you'd
I
rather
would
not
rather
have
keep Kellen Moore as the OC and make that happen in some sort of way than bring in Greg Roman and try that again.
Sure.
We see that Greg Roman can work in very run-heavy offenses as he was in Baltimore, as he was with the Niners, having Kaepernick and what he did with that offense. I don't think Herbert is exactly of that same cloth. He's much more of a passer himself, and maybe Greg actually may want that, but I think having Kellen Moore, who already has somewhat of a rapport with him, is a better keep there. So, I think that keeping Kellen Moore as the OC would be the right move there. If that's what if that's up in the air. So
definitely.
Greg Roman is not following me. I hope if he is, then my bad. But hey, and just keeping it real here as Chargers fans who want to see this team continue to take the next steps.
Yeah, definitely agree with that point as well, as far as sticking with Kellen Moore. I mean, we've seen him in Dallas too be able to have a balanced offense where they had Dak throwing the ball, but they also had Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott with a nice dynamic duo there, where as Pollard, maybe he was dealing with injury this season, but Pollard wasn't the same Pollard in that lead back role this year, and they weren't able to have the same dynamic there with Pollard and Dowdle. So clearly Kellen Moore, when you have an arm talent like Herbert too, you're going to want to emphasize the throw in the passing game, but he can scheme up offensive sets for the running back to be successful as well too. So I don't think there's no need to go for a Greg Roman or a different OC. I think you should give Kellen Moore the opportunity to coach for this season as well too. This offense but yeah, the run game they're going to need, regardless of it's Harbaugh or if it's another head coach, they're going to need balance there because they weren't able to get efficient run game from Eckler or Joshua Kelly, who we joked about several times.
Right.
They need that balance for Herbert so that it's not just relying on him to kind of backpack the team like the Bills had done for several years with no running game, and you become very predictable. So I agree with you that they're going to need to emphasize bringing in a guy that can be the 3-down back and bringing in a change of pace guy as well too.
Yeah, definitely excited for that. We'll see how things get implemented in that regard. The last thing I'll kind of say with these Chargers in regards to these pieces that they may be adding, I just mentioned with Harbaugh about how he had the great run game before and what he's been doing with past teams, as well as the tight end game in regards to having Vernon Davis and people of that in the past. The Chargers are projected right now to be in line to draft Brock Bowers from Georgia. Would you take a tight end at the 8th spot in the draft, or you think that's too high? They should look otherwise with there being great receivers as well. So that'll be on the board.
I don't know that you can say it's too high if you believe you identified your guy. Like he's an extremely talented player as well. Not necessarily that you're going to get the Sam Laporta type of production immediately.
Sure.
But he is one of those tight ends that kind of plays like a wide receiver as well too. So I think if they truly believe like he is the guy for this offense, then yeah, I mean, like Lions weren't afraid to take a running back early in Jahmyr Gibbs, and it's paid dividends for them with how dynamic he's been for that offense, even with having Montgomery already. I don't think they would take that pick back, honestly, at this point. So if they feel like at 8, other guys are off the board and he's the best available and fits type of offensive scheme that they want to run if it's Harbaugh there, I'd say go for it. At that point, I think Herbert needs more offensive pass catchers, skill players, and he fits that build.
Yeah.
So if it's not him, it's got to be another pass catcher. But
the tough thing is, it would be great if we already had guys like Quentin Johnson now already rolling after last season, or we had younger guys like I think Jalen Guyton, who's still on the roster as a receiver, and people of that nature have already been thinking the next steps. But they have not quite, as we saw last year, and people complained about it, not elevated as we thought they would. So when you're not in the 8th spot and you still have Malik Neighbors on the board and you still have Keon Coleman and whoever there's other receivers that are going to be on the board that folks really like in this draft, it's going to be hard to say we're going to go with the tight end, even as good as the tight end might be, when our outside receivers have not been as great as we have hoped. So it's going to be a tough call. If things have played out perfectly and they did play well, of course you grab Brock and he fits perfectly as the next missing piece. But because the receivers are not sure, with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, our top 2 guys, also not being sure with their injury history as it's been. Keenan a little bit more sure actually in the last year, thankfully.
Getting older, getting
older, and then Mike not being what we had hoped. I think you might be in a spot where you say, and perfect well, we take Brock, but it's not perfect right now. We gotta get receivers still. Let's go get Malik instead and put him on the outside and let Justin cook with him. So I don't think it's a wrong pick either way, but it's a lot less clear because of our last season win. Yeah. So
I'll say, like, we've seen beyond Laporta, we've seen a lot of tight ends be very productive for teams this year, like Dalton Kincaid, Jake Ferguson, Dalton Schultz. Like, we've seen a lot of tight ends be almost lead receivers at points for their teams too.
We've seen a few Renaissance receivers as well. We saw the tight ends were a couple of guys who were a little bit older. I remember there at least for a couple of weeks. I know it's not. I don't want to fully bank on this, but they're random guys like I think even like a Jawan Johnson had a good game here and there. Even for the Chargers, Joe Everett stepped up at times throughout the year. So not saying you just find tight ends, but there are a few that are in the league that can be turned to. We talk about big swings in for the Rams. A big swing for the Chargers could be, hey, let's just go and get a veteran tight end already, and then we'll draft the receivers instead. So could be an option. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, definitely gonna be tuned in, and we'll talk about this more as things go along. Anything else with the Chargers you wanted to address?
I don't believe so.
Cool. So that really is it, NFL wise. Then for those that tuned into this part yet again, as we close, continue to show love to LA Sports Report. Appreciate everybody tuning into this. We'll be live for those that want to check us out live and want to be part of the conversation. Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays is the plan. You can follow us on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, as you can be a part of the conversations there when they are posted. For those on Twitch, you have to follow us to be a part of the chat. We really appreciate that. Get those numbers up, and we'll show love back to you. We'll continue to bring these great episodes to you along the way. So great things on that front. Now as we go on from the NFL with regards to our Rams and Chargers, back to just a broad thing. We do during our chill pods, like the trivia and stuff. So to close out our NFL segment, because there's a lot of NBA stuff we want to get to. Actually, the last part of the NFL segment that we'll do a quick NFL trivia poll for you guys. It puts 5 minutes on the clock for us, which is perfect. We just got to pick one, and we'll go from there. So the site that we're doing this on is called Yard Barker. If you want to ever go on there and do it yourself, not an ad. They ain't sponsoring us yet, but hopefully they see us and catch wind. But let's see what catches our eye. One that already caught my eye, NFL QB with the most career rushing touchdowns. That seems like a good one that we may know a lot of. Won the most games as a rookie. Most career passing touchdowns in the postseason.
Okay.
Yeah, any of those I think could work. We don't got to scroll too much. The NFL rookie QB with the most passing yards in a game. Any of those that stand out to you?
I like that one. I mean, because we talked about Stroud too, but I feel like that it could get challenging with some of the rookies.
Yeah, for sure. I think the rushing one, though, we know a lot of the running quarterbacks. I think that could be an easy one to do in a way. So we'll go ahead and do that. We just talked about Josh Allen a little bit during our preview. We talked about Lamar, of course, and folks. So we can do that. We could do this one. So I think it loads as soon as I press it. So we're going to do, can you name the NFL QBs with the most career rushing touchdowns? Let's see how this plays out. This is going to load on screen for us.
What do they give us?
I think it starts once we start typing. So
is this like where they were drafted?
That might be where they're drafted, which I think is helpful. Okay. Or no, is that the number? Because there are a couple guys with different numbers as well. I'm not sure, but
okay. So the first number is probably the number of rushing touchdowns, and then
the very first number is.
What's the number in the parentheses? I'm trying to think. Does it have a legend for it?
Quiz clue: touchdowns, team with which QB had the most rushing TDs. The parentheses is total teams played for, and then jersey number.
Team with which QB had the most rushing touchdowns. Okay.
So 75 touchdowns, played for the Carolina. Two teams played for, and then the jersey number was 1. Yeah. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, so first one obviously Cam Newton, Josh Allen, 17, number 60 for the Browns.
Yeah. Number 14.
We got some comments already. Tom Brady, no, I don't think it's on here.
Wait, is he? He might with all his QB sneaks.
Is it Michael Vick? There you go, Michael Vick. Number 18 for Green Bay. Who's that? Tennessee is Steve McNair.
Ooh, good pull.
Tom Brady is on. Oh, because it's for each team. So I guess.
Yeah.
Roger Staubach. Okay. Staubach.
Yeah. Brady was a QB sneak merchant, just like Jalen Hurts is the tush merchant.
Pretty much. I'm sure Jalen Hurts is on here himself.
Yeah.
Denver, number 7 is Elway.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, number 12. Would that be not Roethlisberger? Who's the Bradshaw? What's his first name though? Terry Bradshaw. Yeah. Terry Bradshaw. Minnesota, number 10. Is that Dante Culpepper? Oh, it was.
It was number 11.
It was, but there's 2 Minnesota ones, so I was confused. Randall. He ran a lot. That's
Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb is number 5 for the Philly. That's correct. Cleveland number 60 is gonna bug me.
Come on, we didn't put your boy on Lamar Jackson.
Young Lamar Jackson, of course. Would RG3 be on here?
For which team? He only played a couple seasons.
Yeah, I guess not. Tennessee 17, is that Tannehill?
Probably, yeah.
Ryan Tannehill.
Kaepernick.
I thought I put him already. Colin Kaepernick, yeah. Is that how you spell it?
It's like Kae, right?
Yeah. Where you go? Did I do it? Colin.
Is he not on there? Oh,
Kae, right? Is it
Yes,
two
I
L's? Two L's?
I don't think so.
What the heck? He's not on here? I thought he would be. All right. Kyler Murray. Drew Brees. Is that Drew Brees, number 9 on the Saints? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of these are longevity.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Who's number 14? Is that Drew Bledsoe?
You could try him. I don't know.
14 for the Pats. Who's that?
14. Yeah, help us out there, Matt.
We almost got we got 2 minutes left. Pittsburgh number 10. Steelers number 10.
Mason Rudolph. No, I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Yeah. What the heck? Is that Dak Prescott, number 4 for the Cowboys? Yeah.
Are there some historic names on here that we haven't put? Like
Russell Wilson,
Roger Staubach or something. I don't even know who he played for.
Well, 10 for Pittsburgh. Who's the dude that went to oh my God, who went to Colorado, the QB?
Matt said Roger Staubach too.
The black QB for the Steelers. Oh my God,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, I think he might be a coordinator now or something like that.
I'm blanking. When you said that, I'm thinking of
yeah. Can you real quick?
Got a minute left. Did you guess Staubach yet?
Yeah, I guess Staubach already.
Oh, okay. Who else are we missing? LARM. That's a Rams.
LA Rams.
Oh, it was
18.
No.
Can you come here real quick?
30 seconds on the clock.
We're doing a poll. The question is most career rushing touchdowns. Number 10 for the Steelers.
Wait. Most rushing touchdown by what?
NFL QBs.
Black QB for the Steelers. Number 10. What was his name again?
Joe Gilliam. Oh no, he was
no, the other one.
Slash. Cordell
Stewart.
I mean,
5 seconds.
Cordell Stewart. I
there
got
you
that.
go. You got it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Otto Graham.
All right. Hold on. All right, we weren't going to get that. Otto Graham, Jack Kemp.
Of course, it was Y.A. Tittle. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Tobin Rote. Never heard of that in my life.
Y.A. Tittle and
Steve Grogan. I could have got Jeff Garcia. That slipped my mind.
Yeah, Garcia, yeah.
He used to rush a lot.
Frankie Albert, my guy.
Frankie Albert, Roman Gabriel. I didn't even know he existed. Respectfully.
Is Aaron Garcia on there or no?
Jeff Garcia is. I don't know.
Aaron. Aaron with the high school.
Who was the Patriots guy? Steve Grogan.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So that's the NFL stuff for y'all. Definitely good stuff there. As we go at the end of each episode, we'll try to do more trivia for you guys, and y'all can add into the chat. As you guys can see, Matt taking my phone to friend. They don't need to say Till anymore. Yeah,
it was on the tip of my tongue, Matt.
A lot of good stuff there. We'll definitely continue to bring stuff like this to you as things go along. So definitely a lot of fun on the NFL side. A whole lot of madness, my Lord, on the NBA side.
Yeah.
As we go here real quick
on a Tuesday morning.
In this episode,
yeah.
We would try to get out of here real quick to go see the Lakers Clippers game as usual, right. But LeBron ain't playing, so I don't think it's gonna be that good of a game. To be honest with you, I haven't checked the score yet, but yeah, we're not in a rush for that. But definitely another week of NBA madness. Starting with the Lakers, we will go ahead and start there. this team doesn't quite know what they want. Like we started with having D'Lo, and D'Lo was here, and both were satisfied for a moment, and then they got kind of frustrated, or then the rumor started, and now we don't know if we want him or not. Then we was going to trade him for a star, and we were trading for a star, and that seemed to be falling short. And went to Tyus Jones and Colin Sexton and keep bouncing around. So there's a lot of confusion right now with the Lakers squad.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite seem like they know what they want, as you see here. The latest rumors are now we might be aiming somehow for Trae Young and Donovan Mitchell. What do you think of the Lakers squad right now? Who are we aiming for real? What are we doing with D'Angelo? Just anything, because it seems like it's a mess right now.
Yeah, well, like I've said for a while, like D'Angelo being the trade piece, it's not necessarily that he's a bad player. Like he's a really good offensive player, especially when he's on and in a rhythm and consistent. It's more so about his contract being one of the more useful ones for us to make in a trade to get back a player with the similar or if not higher value than him.
Sure.
And so that's why he's going to be in all these trade rumors. If you're trying to get a guy like a Trae Young or DeJounte Murray or Mitchell, like he has to be in there because he's making the third most money on the roster.
Yeah.
But he's upped his play, and salute to that. Thank you for that with the up in his trade value in the last couple of weeks too. But he's been on a tear offensively since been reinserted in the starting lineup. He's going to be the centerpiece of a deal like that. I think DeJounte Murray, some people I've seen talk about they'd rather lose with D'Lo than win with DeJounte Murray. I don't understand. The goal's to
win, we're trying to win here. What are we talking about?
I get being attached to a player you like. And
I like D'Lo a lot too, but like the goal to win. So that's been the whole point. So
I don't understand those fans on NBA Twitter and Lakers Twitter. If DeJounte can bring in the defensive impact that we're lacking from D'Lo, I surely would welcome that. And that's one thing that's been puzzling too. Just have people not seen DeJounte Murray play basketball? Like the way they're talking about him playing, it's like D'Lo is like in a tier above him kind of thing. And while D'Lo is a great offensive player, DeJounte himself is averaging 21, 5, and 5 and can guard on the perimeter and has length as a 6'4" guard. So I don't understand.
Fans don't know ball like that for real. This is all Twitter talk. So
I know he played in San Antonio for a while, so not a lot of people are watching those games. And Atlanta doesn't get a whole lot of nationally televised ones either. But he's quietly still a really good guard in this league, and I think can help
back-to-back buzzer beaters are like game winners the last like two games. Like he been open, so he can put the ball in the basket. So folks are saying we might lose a lot on the offensive side in regards to getting Murray. He can put up on the offensive side as well, while also adding more defensively, which is what the issue may be for us down the line.
He's shooting like 38% from three this year too, so like he can shoot the three. D'Lo is probably better catch and shoot three guy, so he maybe is a better fit next to LeBron in that way as far as putting those catch and shoot 3-point shooters around him. But in terms of what he can bring defensively, creating for himself and others. I think it is an upgrade come playoff time where we saw D'Lo struggle in certain matchups, like the Denver Nuggets were able to take advantage of him on the floor and kind of barbecue him on that side, which played him off. I don't think you have that same issue with DeJounte being played off the floor because he is more balanced as a player with his offense and defensive game. So,
Yeah, I think DeJounte would be a good fit, and I've been one of the louder D'Lo supporters for some time now. I've been joking with you behind the scenes and all kind of stuff about D'Lo and wanting to see him stay here. So we'll love to see things work out. If he stays, then great. But seeing what could be on the market as the trade line gets closer, I do think we should go and push for somebody to bring in like an elite squad. The goal, I think I tweeted out even from our page, the goal is to go and win games and win championship. And we saw last year that D'Lo could play good in the regular season, and he even played good early on in the playoffs, but there are moments where he can disappear, and we really don't have time for that, as LeBron can't always carry the whole weight of this squad as he once did. So, need guys that are going to be up and ready to go all season long. And
to that point,
they would be a good fit for that.
To your point about the goal being ultimately to win games and win a championship, I can understand some people's points about a DeJounte move, and that it maybe isn't the championship move. We have heard rumors about Bruce Brown still being available and having interest from teams like the Lakers and Knicks? Yeah, go for it.
Real quick, just Alpha Vivid, who's been on the chat before, we're up to him. He said surprise thoughts moving on from Murray. He won them like 2 games last second. Yeah, we mentioned that. He's definitely been hoping at to your point. He definitely is one of the guys alongside Bruce Brown who could be a nice fit for us. So yeah, we hear you in that.
I believe like what we've seen from these Lakers is the more championship type move is, as we've talked about, bringing in 3-and-D type guys that slot in next to LeBron and AD that are shooters and guys that can catch and shoot and guys that can play a role, as opposed to a guy that maybe needs the ball a little bit more to get into the game and make his impact felt on the game. So if they're making a trade where they're acquiring Bruce Brown and maybe another piece as well from the Raptors to kind of fill out the roster with 3-and-D guys. I'm forgetting, is Gary Trent still on the roster with the trades they've made?
Gary Trent for the Raptors.
Yeah.
So
if it's a trade where you're getting back a Gary Trent and a Bruce Brown in that, I think that's more of the championship type move that you're looking for with this Lakers team that's currently constructed with LeBron at the top. But if they don't make a move like that, like I wouldn't be mad at the DeJounte move, because it is an upgrade to me. I don't know about we talked about the Colin Sexton thing that's been rumored as well.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see that as a championship move either, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we know that this is like a move is going to be made at some point. Just depends on who I think thinks is the right one to pull the trigger on. And yeah, excited to see how that goes. And we'll be covering it as things continue to go along. We talk about LeBron being one of the top guys and want to make sure he gets over the hump and getting the support he needs to get there. We see on the East that the Bucks are trying to figure out the way to do that themselves. They just fired Adrian Griffin this last couple of days. What are your thoughts on them, on him, on Giannis pulling the trigger on Adrian Griffin?
Yeah. Giannis pulling the trigger on him. Someone tweeted out that clip of him from last game against the Pistons where he was like drawing on the whiteboard or whatever.
Notes like, bro, this don't work. This don't work. Like, not doing this.
Adrian Griffin should have seen the signs there. But yeah, I mean, this was a surprising firing, I think, for most people. Some people are saying that it is a good move, just in terms of the way they kind of have stumbled out of the gate a bit in terms of their.
I need some water, Matt. Chill out.
What did Matt say?
My voice got dry for a second. He's like, I thought Doc. Chill out. I'm not Doc.
Funny enough, Doc is rumored to be of high interest for supplanting Adrian Griffin.
I don't know if y'all heard. They hired Doc 30 minutes ago.
Okay, there we go. I did not hear. So that works perfectly. Doc Rivers is in as Adrian Griffin is out for the Milwaukee Bucks. Thank you, Alpha Vivid, for the update. But yeah, I think this was a bit of a shocker to most NBA fans, with the Bucks currently being the 2 seed, 30-13 in the East. This reminded me kind of the Cavaliers when they fired David Blatt when they were like the 2 seed in the East and hired Tyronn Lue and got LeBron's guy in there. And with this move, I'm sure Giannis, having at least some knowledge of NBA history, like, is someone who respects Doc Rivers, even with his faults and blown 3-1 leads with the Clippers and all that. He did win a championship with the Boston Celtics in 2008.
Yeah.
So he does have that championship pedigree, and I'm sure Giannis, having the first-time head coach, wasn't quite gelling the way he wanted to, wasn't quite having the success or the chemistry with that head coach that he wanted to, and push for getting a guy in here to he has a little bit more respect for it in that way. So I guess the Bucks got their guy. It felt like Doc Rivers was petitioning for the Lakers job for several weeks on the broadcast.
He wanted to coach, for sure. He was going to be coaching. So
he found himself a landing spot.
He, as Alpha Vivid says, Doc also brings a grit, some mentality to the team, which is, I guess, will be helpful to the squad. Definitely get what you're saying there, seeing what Doc has done, as you mentioned. So, yeah, definitely I think is good replacement for Adrian Griffin there. Folks said Adrian might have been a little bit too over his head, being a first-time coach in a situation like that with the Bucks, who are a team that really wants to get rolling. As you mentioned, the woes with the defense and things at the start of the season. So, yeah, I think Doc can clean things up a bit, and they should get back on track, which is crazy to say with they're already being the 2 seed. So they continue to build on that. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, as we look at that and teams firing coaches and hiring coaches, there have been a lot of folks tying back to LA who've been frustrated with Darvin Ham. Do you want to see us make a move with Darvin Ham at any point, or do you think we're good with him as a lead guy?
Man, I was talking to my boss actually today, because we were talking about the Bucks firing Budenholzer and
Right.
hiring Adrian Griffin, and it was like his point was like, when you fire a coach that has won a championship for you, you want to hire up. And the Lakers fired a head coach in Frank Vogel, who won a championship for them the year prior,
Right.
and was already a respected coach in this league, especially on the defensive side, and went on to hire Darvin Ham, who former Bucks assistant, but was a first-time head coach as well, and didn't quite have the experience that Vogel did. So it was kind of a gamble in that sense when they made the decision to hire Darvin Ham.
Correct.
But then he also, once we made the trade at the deadline, brought players in that better suited LeBron and AD's talents. They made the Western Conference Finals run. They just ran into a better team and the best player in the league in Jokic.
Crazy how that worked.
To move off of him after some struggles this season, to move off of him mid-season, I don't know. I mean, I think the team could handle it because they're a veteran team for the most part. They got LeBron and AD at the top. So firing a head coach midway through the season isn't maybe as dire or drastic when you have veterans like that at the top. But I feel like it's still like a bit of an overreaction to fire Darvin Ham mid-season.
I would have somewhat understood it. Honestly, I thought if we were going to go get Doc, but now that Doc's off the table, I think it's fine to keep him around, as he has kept us playing at least somewhat well for the time being. Alphabet says, saw someone tweet, Doc Rivers can keep getting jobs. There's no excuse for you to be unemployed. That's definitely a fact there. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
He keeps on finding his way and had worked his magic to be on the sideline yet again. So close to him, and we'll see what the Lakers can do with Darvin Ham still locked in as the head coach for our squad here. So yeah, getting me very intrigued by that. I think things can work with Darvin Ham here still, and we continue to build this thing back up. Just got to keep on just trusting the things that work. I think there are times where he keeps trying too much to experiment during the season, and while early on you can, I think there are people talk about here, NBA players talk about how they break the season up into quarters or into segments, and how the first part of the season is about establishing rotations and getting your legs under you. Then you start progressing. You want to really get rolling as the All-Star game gets here and getting really ready to the next push. It seems like we're still in that experiment phase, roster rotations and all of that. We should be cleaning things up. So if he can just trust what he already knows to work, let that roll and start putting wins together, because now it's about positioning as we are getting closer to.
Yeah, they need to stack some wins for sure.
Yeah, let's stop trying things. This works. Let's do this. Let's win the game and move on. I think that will go a long way for us. And what fans really just want to see. Let's stop switching things up and just find something that works and roll. So yeah, very excited to see how things work out for Darvin here, for Doc and Milwaukee, and we'll continue to cover things as they go along.
You think the Bucks are destined to blow a 3-1 lead at some point in the playoffs now?
I don't know if they blow a 3-1 lead, but I know if they weren't running into this man, it might be a problem, and it'll be ironic if they lose to Embiid and those boys in the playoffs this year, seeing how Doc was once there. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out. While we have the picture up of Embiid here, salute to Embiid. Also, somewhat salute to Carl. I think Anthony Towns also played
somewhat, yeah.
But he lost, so to the Hornets,
65 or something, yeah.
Yeah, or he put up how many? My bad.
I think like 65. Embiid had 70,
and then Cat had 65. So they both were cooking. Yeah, definitely great on the anniversary of Kobe. 18 years now since Kobe dropped 81 himself. Dropped it to have them both cooked to that extent on his day definitely was amazing. Any thoughts on their performances?
Yeah, it was crazy. That was wild when they pointed out that it was like to the day that Kobe had got his. I got my poster back here of Kobe getting his 81 back in 2006. But Yeah, I mean, that was incredible to see from Joel Embiid. People are going to talk about the amount of free throws he had, but he shot like 24 of 41 from the field as well too. Like, come on, man! Like,
yeah, how you get it?
he had nearly 50 points like without the free throws as well. So, yeah, it was sensational performance from him. You can't really take it away from him that it was against the Spurs because 70 is 70, and they won the game.
Right.
And they only won by 10. Like, it was a competitive game too. So salute to Embiid. He's been an MVP candidate this season. When he's been healthy, he's been the best player in basketball for my money. So yeah, I think if he can remain healthy and play 65 games, I think it's his MVP to lose. As great as Shea has been, but he's been the best player in basketball, and it's incredibly impressive for a big man to getting 70 in this era of basketball. Of course, Wilt got them fake numbers back in the day when he was towering over everybody.
I think we all have retired that stat. We won't believe it until we see it. The fact there keep on being new clips of Wilt all over the place, of him walking on the street and him in the random gym in the middle of the summer. All right, bro, you were in a real NBA game. We don't have footage. You talking on it. So
they had
we respect it, but we're retiring that stat. 81 is the marker for right now. So
yeah, they had on MLK Day, they had a picture of like Wilt in color, like walking with MLK. They're like, we got pictures of Wilt doing everything but scoring 100 points in this game, man. Like, where's the footage? Show us.
Yeah, enough's enough, man. Somebody holding up. It's ridiculous. So yeah, until then, 81 is the marker. And to that point, seeing what Embiid and Cat just did on Kobe's anniversary, will we see someone pass Kobe's 81 points soon? We've seen in the past. We also saw Devin Booker play up 70 at one point, I believe it was. I think Mitchell had a 70-point game or a 65-point game, something like that.
Yeah.
So we've seen a few guys put the ball in the basket. Will we see it? And you can even say who you might expect to do so.
Well, we saw Cat try to chase it and lose the game for Minnesota. I don't know. 81 is tough, man. Yeah, correct, Matt. Dame did too. Dame hit 70 just last year as well, I believe. It was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was like those three guys hit it last year, but 81 is tough, man. That's a lot of points. Like it's a lot of points.
Slower era too. Like in this era, he might have got that would have been 100 possibly without the basket play compared to back then. So to do that back then with the defense being a little bit tougher, how you want to describe it, but it was a different game back then compared to now.
Yeah,
for him to do that back then, we were in awe back then, and now it seems progress. You look back and you're even more in awe. Like, how did he do that back then with how things operated? So yeah, definitely salute to him always.
Yeah, that's like you said, that's going to be the marker for sure, because that's real tough to beat. We've seen a few guys get 70 now, but no one's touched 80 yet. So 81's going to be tough. Yeah,
we'll see. I think those guys we already have mentioned will be the guys that might push for it again somewhere down the line. I can't really think of any other shooters like that. I will say we haven't seen, people have pointed out it's been, and it might be too late still at this point, but we haven't seen KD put up over 60 points in the game yet. So if he finally gets hot one day, who knows if he goes for it. Wemby in this new era with how he puts the ball in the basket, able to put the ball in the basket on all levels. If this is now the wave, I think it's very well could be the way he does it. W was number 14 to have total 81,
right.
As Matt said. So for Kobe to do that as an individual, just adds more to the lore and the reason we praise him as we do. So W salute to him. And I don't know, but maybe one of the guys you already kind of see rising will be the one. Maybe Luka one day goes for it and puts up 81. He definitely has a game that could get it done.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. Definitely gonna be a lot of fun stuff going on. I love that the NBA has evolved and seeing how guys put the ball in the basket. Definitely have. As I said, I was, for whatever reason, maybe because he was playing next to Harden for a moment, and back then I wasn't the biggest fan of Harden when he was for the Sixers. But seeing what Embiid has continued to become, he has really started winning me over recently, and he definitely had my praise. I know we kind of debated who would be MVP, but either way, rooting for Embiid to continue to do his thing and build upon what he's been doing with the Sixers for some time there. So
the main thing,
right? I
was gonna say the main thing for him is going to be advancing to Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, we know what he can. We know what he could do now, and he's doing it night in, night out in the regular season.
Correct.
So it's going to be being healthy for the playoffs, staying healthy, and elevating, I guess, if he can. He's playing at MVP level, but elevating in the playoffs and getting them to a Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, a team that usually is in the way for all these East squads. We talk about the Bucks and now the Sixers and folks of the like. Just teams trying to find their way. The Heat always find a way to stir things up. They did yet again. They just added Terry Rozier to the mix, and want to just mention that in the midst of this conversation.
Yeah.
You think the Heat find a way to do it again now with Scary Terry on the roster?
Hey man, Scary Terry. That's a scary move for some teams in the East. Even those juggernaut Celtics. They're not going to like seeing their former Celtic across from them, especially playing with Miami.
Man,
the dreaded matchup for the Boston Celtics. But I think it was a surprising move. I knew that Terry was on the trading block, but I didn't know that Miami was going to be a team that was really gunning for him.
Real quick, that's a funny thing about the Lakers as well. Like a lot of fans drop all these scenarios, like these 1-for-1 scenarios, and it's like these scenarios compared to the rest of the league would not work. Like there's other teams with better offers. So when a guy like Terry Rozier's on the board, let's just go and throw Torian Prince and second round pick. It's like, nah, bro. He have a much better offer on the table for him that can work out. And you got to think about not only what we could offer, but what other teams might throw at them too. So just a funny thing that came to mind. Like folks, Laker fans think we can just throw anybody at people and they'll accept the deal. And it's not. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I agree with it being a high price just because of what Kyle Lowry is at this stage in his career. He's definitely kind of. I don't want to say fully washed, but he's a shell of like what he used to be, Kyle Lowry.
Terry has passed him, with all due respect, you could say.
Right.
He's the better fit now at this point.
Exactly. And I think it works obviously because of the contract. I think Lowry's getting paid $30 million or close to it as well. So it works there. Maybe the pick can turn into something fruitful, but I really like this move for Miami. Getting a guard that can score the ball, can get a bucket, can distribute as well. He's stepped up. While the Hornets haven't won a whole lot of games, he's stepped up in Melo's absence for Charlotte.
Got the same grit as Jimmy and all those guys on the Heat. I think he fits
that culture perfectly.
Man.
Exactly. So I really like the move. And I think it does definitely elevate them, especially a team that deals with injury and kind of, as we say, coasts at times, like throughout the regular season, like a guy that is going to be there game in, game out for the most part and play. I think it might hurt his fantasy value a little bit. That's the only thing I'm concerned about because he's on my fantasy team. But
he's playing this week too, so it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, so I might miss a game too with him being traded, but I do like the move a lot for Miami.
Yeah, I like the move a lot. He fits in. We've seen in the past that they found guards the last couple of years. They found the Gabe Vincents and the Martins and folks who stepped in that could really get a bucket for them. Terry Rozier now fits in as that piece, especially in replacing Kyle Lowry, who has not been the same player, at least this year, as they decided to move on from him. I think Terry definitely fits into what they have planned. I think he has a couple of years on his deal as well, so they want to deal with this being a one and done situation as they had a couple of times in the past. They'll be able to keep him around, and for a couple of years now with Jimmy and Bam, really get this thing going. So I think they definitely will be a super squad yet again this year. Of course, you got to see how it plays out when it gets there, but they will be a team that I will not speed past as we once did. So go to the Heat for what they continue to put together there.
Another feather in Terry Rozier's cap too is that while he's been on a bad Charlotte team for a few years now, with the Celtics, he did make an Eastern Conference Finals run. So, he's got that experience under his belt and going deep into the playoffs too. So I don't think he'll be afraid of the moment. Like, you might miss a little bit of the championship pedigree and experience that Kyle Lowry can bring. Like, he stepped up in games even last year in their playoff run in his twilight of his career. But Terry has playoff experience himself too. So I think he can be calm, cool, and collected in those moments and be a major impact guy for them down the stretch too.
Absolutely. So definitely salute to them for what they're doing. We'll see how this thing continues to get built up. Just excited for the NBA as things continue to go on. Quickly before I go on to our last thing, I just wanted to share a little update. Lakers Clippers is going on right now, 49-58, second quarter, 6 minutes left. Clippers are kind of business for the moment, as we kind of figured with LeBron being out. But it's a little closer, I guess. It's not fully a blowout just yet, but we'll see if they hold on the whole way. So good stuff on that front. We'll be back later on in the week for our NBA episode, and we'll talk about that there and have more of a deep dive on all things going on in the basketball world in LA. So definitely stay tuned for that. So good stuff on that front. Somewhat in regards to both these squads, we have guys like Kawhi and PG who are very noble names. But also in this last year, we saw on our side in regards to international ball, we saw Austin Reeves got some play in the last summer and was involved in a lot of the USA. We talked about him being Captain America and all that stuff.
Right.
These are not the finalists for the Olympic team, the 41 or the
41, I believe. Yeah,
41 names of guys that will be in the mix, and it's an interesting list. We got real quick. We can run through it. Bam, Jared Allen.
Did Derek White make it?
Huh?
Did Derek White make it?
You see, Derek White is on there. Why?
Let's go.
No.
Let's go.
I guess. So how? What did it say? So it's featuring 28 players who represent the USA in the Olympics or FIBA's Men World Cup, and who together have collected 23 World Cup gold medals. So where does Derek White fall in that? Was he on the FIBA team?
I forget if he was on the FIBA team or like one of the teams right before that, but he was on one of those.
I'm like, based on this, where is he qualified? Wow, whatever, man.
Like he's represented. He might have been on that team that that team that was like kind of like our B team that had like 3 or 4 different Celtics on it.
How does this make you right, Matt? Because he's a finalist. Again, he didn't get picked for the team yet, but he's a finalist, so that's not how it works. If he makes the team, you're right. Not for being one of the guys that's on the list. That's not how this works.
I think he was on one of those teams that like Greg Popovich coached, where it had
good
like
basketball player, yes, but a star player they are making him out to be. He is not a star.
Well, there's some more guys of his caliber on this list, like a Duncan Robinson or
he's on the Duncan Robinson tier. That's what he's at.
I'm talking about
words right there.
I'm talking about good role players, man. Like
you're on the Duncan Robinson, Walker Kessler tier. That's where you're at right now.
Walker Kessler. Who else we got? Josh Hart. Who else is like in that? Caruso. Like guys who are really, really good role players. He's in that
role players. It's okay to be a respectable role player.
You a hater, man. You a hater.
I just tell it how it is. But Matt said I never called him a star. I called he would be in the mix.
He did. He did call it. You got to give him his flowers.
If you're changing the statement to being in the mix, then yes, he's in the mix. Salute. But for him being stamped as a star, he is not a star. He's in the mix for the All-Star team. He's in the mix for the Olympics. When it's time for the final pieces to be picked out, he's not going to be picked.
Yeah.
So yeah,
final cuts to be made. I think for sure we're going to have LeBron.
I was going to say, go ahead and pick your 12.
Yeah, LeBron, Steph, KD, Dame, Jimmy, AD, probably Paul George. It's tough because there's already said a lot of guards there. Tyrese has a real case for it. Chris Paul, stay away, Chris Paul. I hope he does not get a freaking grandfathered in vote to be in on this team, man. No, stay away. How many do we have right now that I said? 7?
7.
Okay.
You deciding between, you started saying names.
I'll put Halliburton on there. Bam, because we need another big. I'm trying to think, is there any Kawhi? Who else is a must-have? Kyrie?
You said Embiid already, right?
I said Embiid.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't say Embiid. I don't
know how this thing works.
Getting patriotic for Team USA with the fireworks. I did not say Embiid. That's cheating, man. Embiid playing for Team USA.
He said he wanted to represent his country.
Okay, Embiid. So that's 10.
That's 11.
That's 11. Who gets the final spot? Trae Young. I'm sorry. I don't think you make the cut once again. He could be in the mix though. Because I didn't say Devin Booker.
Right.
I didn't say even a De'Aaron Fox or a Brunson, who are kind of in the similar tier.
I think
Tyler
both,
Hero, you are not in this mix. Aaron Gordon, you're not in this mix.
but I
Ingram,
mean, it
no.
not based on
Johnson,
fit.
no.
Not be based on fit though. You say Chet in there?
I didn't say Chet. He could be an intriguing play.
Matt, look at the names. What we're saying for the 12th man. Derek White was not jumping ahead of any of these guys for the 12th man.
Derek White, 12th man.
He said Derek,
I didn't.
Booker and Chet and
I don't think I said Jason Tatum, so he would have
you
to
didn't
be
say
in there.
Tatum either, and you want
He'd
to
have
put
to be in
Derek
there.
White in the 12th man? Get out of here, man.
Anthony Edwards is a tough cut. So
Anthony, he's put enough of a pull. He might actually be.
who do you not take? Isn't Scotty Barnes Canadian?
Why
Why is he
not?
on this list? I guess he has U.S. eligibility.
Yeah, but
Tatum would have to knock off maybe Tyrese because we already have Steph and Dame and Kyrie. Because I want to go with the big guns and the guys that probably this will be their last.
Dogs. Now that everybody else is we've seen that they're starting to be even, a little bit more even in the playing field.
Yeah,
guys, we're starting to see Lukas and Wemby's and folks pop up. Let's go and bring the big dogs out. So yeah, I think I agree with your list. You said
we can run through it one more time.
Yeah.
For the bigs, Bam, AD, Embiid, if we're counting Embiid. Guards, Steph Curry, Dame, Kyrie, and it had Tyrese in there, right?
Would you sacrifice Dame for a Edwards?
That's tough. That's tough. I don't know, man. Edwards was great. He was great for FIBA too.
He won a lot of folks over. He's been doing a media tour the whole year.
I don't know if I'd sacrifice Dame. Maybe you sacrifice Tyrese.
I thought it was just you said Steph, you said Kyrie, you said Dame.
Yeah.
I think all three are somewhat in the same lane.
Mm-hmm.
I think you sacrifice one of those for Ant and put Ant there.
Maybe.
Also, I mean, Tyrese would be a great change of pace guard.
Yeah.
If you want to really run the floor with those guys. We see he runs the floor better than anybody right now and distributes and all of that. There are folks, I think even on Gil Arenas' show a couple weeks ago, talked about, you see on there right next to each other, they have Halliburton and Harden. Would you take Halliburton or Harden right now? While Harden has been playing great, younger guy in Halliburton who's been playing great, the same style of play in a way, but less turnover prone, whatever. For the best team you want to put together right now, might be Halliburton in that mix. So,
respectfully, there's way too many names on this list, and some of these guys should not be in like Jaren Jackson.
And now we have guys saying that they are in the mix when they shouldn't be in the mix to begin with.
Jaren Jackson Jr., you were not like in this mix.
I respect him. I'm saying more of the other guys. I'm saying as the Reeves and the Robinsons,
I don't know.
and guys like that.
I saw Jaren Jackson play in FIBA, and he was not very good for.
Sure. I'm just saying in regards to who they are, just in the NBA wise, I think he's above that other group.
Maybe wasn't he on that list the Athletic did where it was like a possible lock for Hall of Fame or something? Like what are we doing with the Jaren Jackson evaluations?
Every day that list gets crazier. So
but yeah, Bam, AD, Embiid. Yeah, Bobby Portis doesn't belong either. These are guys that were on the FIBA team that I think just got kind of grandfathered in to the list. But yeah, Bam, AD, Embiid, LeBron, KD, Tatum, Kyrie, Steph, Dame. That's 9 right there. Kawhi, 10. I still feel like Paul George got to be there, but what did you say?
I said I'm not gonna lie to you. I think you need one alien. You need. I'd put Chet in there. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
So I want one alien on the board. I know they're all aliens, of course. But to throw out a 7-foot guard essentially every once in a while, as we see the USA team does at times, they always bring one of them young guys in. I think Chet would be the young guy that I bring along.
Between Chet, Jimmy, Devin Booker, and Anthony Edwards, you got to cut like 2 of those guys.
You said Chet, Jimmy. Say it again.
Devin
Edwards, Book. And who else?
Between those 4, Booker, Butler, Edwards, and Chet. Because there was like 2 spots left from what I said. I mean, I know like young AD was on the USA team. Like I think before he even played a.
Here's a
NBA
question,
game,
real quick. Why is it 12?
Because that's probably the full roster, is it not? 12 that you can bring.
I thought it was like 14 before, but maybe I was off. But either way, yeah.
I know like NBA rosters is 12, and you can have like a total of 15 or whatever. But so maybe it's similar. I don't know how Olympics works. Jimmy and Book gotta go. There's something to that defensive side too with Jimmy as well, and he fits there. Book tends to be like a more of a role player on these USA teams.
Yeah,
but he is a really great offensive talent. It's just I get it. What CPU? What am I reading that wrong? Oh, I think you get a couple reserves.
I was like,
what?
I was
like, what? I thought it was like a CP3 thing that he was saying
no.
at first, like a CP3 joke or something. I think you get a couple reserves. Yeah, you probably get a couple reserves. So one of the last guys out might be a Booker or a Edwards or a Chet kind of thing. I didn't say Harden either, but I don't know. Harden would feel disrespected, I'm sure, if he wasn't selected. But some of these guys, respectfully, I think are better than Harden at this point.
Yeah, Harden misses the cut, but yeah, I think I go. Man, I want to put the young guys in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I love Jimmy and D Book, I think I give the spot to Chet and Ant.
To Chet.
I want a couple of young guys in there. Okay. I want an alien on the roster. So I'm throwing, especially as we're starting to see more and more 7-foot guys pop up across the people world and the international world, whatever.
Yeah,
we got one of our own as well. You know, we already have Embiid and guys like that.
Say, you think Chet plays a whole lot if you have Embiid and AD and Bam?
Just to show face, like, hey, we got some guys over here too. Also for some representation. I'm just saying.
Was that the only one of them that I
think so.
That I
so I'm just saying we gotta get respectfully.
Let me see. Who else we got on? What other sharpshooters we got on here? Austin Reeves, Caruso,
nope.
Tyler Hero.
Nope.
Walker Kessler.
Nope.
Yeah, respectfully, it would only be Chet,
yeah. So that just for that as well.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple light guys over there, but
just one for representation.
It matters. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, he might sneak in there.
Yeah. So for that reason, I give Chet the nod, and I put Ant for what he's been doing this last year. If he's MVP level this year, is he kind of just pushing for him in a slight way? Oh my God, no, Matt.
Pritchard. There's a reason he's not on this list, Matt.
Oh my God. But yeah, I think I put those two on there. So yeah, we'll talk about it more as things go along. They just announced the finalists right now, and we'll surely be talking about it as things continue to play out. But yeah, definitely a fun conversation that we'll surely get back to at some point. Anything else NBA wise you wanted to get to?
No, I don't think so. I think those are the main highlights.
Yeah, those are all the main highlights for today. Another update for the Lakers real quick. We're now down 13, but the Clippers are up. We're LA. So one of our squads is winning. So whatever, we'll take that. So we'll talk about that again later on in the week, and be sure to tap into that when we're back on. So good stuff across the board. Excited for the NFL playoffs we talked about. Excited for what's going to continue to go on in the NBA. Excited for all things going on in LA in general. Lakers, Clippers, our women's basketball squads, and all of that. We'll be talking about that later on in the week. Make sure you tap in for that. So great stuff there. We appreciate y'all. To love across the board. I'm not going to do a full outro just yet. What I will end with, we did one NFL quiz. Let's go ahead and do one quick NBA grid. Instead of doing the iHoop, we'll do this NBA grid that has the Lakers and Clippers on there real quick. That'll be a fun mix for us. And then we'll be out of here. The grid today has the Nuggets, Clippers, and then 150 plus 3-point field goals in the season on the top. Then it has the Pacers, Lakers, and I guess that's made a basket in the finals. I guess that's what that means.
Yeah. Let's get
for our sake, do you want to do the guesses or you want to do unlimited guesses?
No, leave the guesses. Leave the guesses.
All right, so leave the guesses. So
because we should be able to get these with these teams.
Yeah, we should be able to get these. As we do, we'll put 7 minutes on the clock. Let's get this banner out of here.
Let's see if there's any real ball knowers in the chat.
Yeah. Where is it? 7 minutes on the clock. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All righty. So
first round draft pick for me is Christian Braun for the Nuggets in basket in the NBA Finals. Christian Brown, you know what I'm talking about? The white dude.
Correct. Is it CH or Christian Braun? Correct.
Yeah.
Great call there. A Clipper who made a basket in the finals. They never been to the finals, so who's been on that also has been in the finals and made a bucket.
Yeah, what trick question? They've never been. Yeah.
Would Lamar Odom count? He's on the Clippers before, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if that counts.
Yeah, it has to be former Clippers, right? Yeah, because they've never been.
Yep, 1.5%. I'll take that. Great grab.
Nice grab.
150 plus 3-point field goals in the season and made a bucket. We can go with obvious name shooters. We have the Steph Currys and the Klay Thompsons and all of that. Who else could be on that list? Kawhi, obviously, yeah, he did play for those, so that was a good one. PG would play for the Clippers and the Pacers. We're not fully going for scores, so if we want to just put PG in here just to cross this off, we can.
Obvious. You can put it. You can put it for Paul George. Yeah, probably 60%,
75%, 72%. Yeah. All right.
Matt did
50 plus.
Matt in the chat did Eddie House hit 153s in a season?
I think we actually tried something like that before and it didn't work. I don't know what that was. Maybe it wasn't threes. I think it was for a team, but I thought it was for a number. Ray Allen for a season would be a good one. Who else are some shooters? Reggie Miller made a finals, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He did make one versus the Lakers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he made 150 plus, right?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say so. He's one of the leaders in 3 points.
Yeah, there you go. 1.7%. We'll take that. Okay, so now we have 150 plus for the Lakers. Lakers could be a good one. Lou Will, Pat Bev.
Lakers Clippers. Yeah. There's a bunch actually. Russ, of course.
Russell Westbrook, of course. Let's really dive.
Montrez
is a great name. Who else has been on both squads? Did Nick Young play on both squads?
I don't think he was. Wow, Wesley Johnson.
Wesley Johnson playing on both squads. I always say his name for whatever reason. Did Ramon Sessions play on both squads?
I don't remember him on the Clippers, but definitely Lakers. Yeah.
Parker might have played on both squads. No,
I don't think on the Clippers.
Oh, can we go way back from winning time? Who was the guy that got traded to the Clippers mid-season or before the season? Who was that?
Oh God, that wasn't Norm, was it?
Norm
Nixon.
Norm Nixon. I don't think anyone's gonna guess that one. Can we put that one? I'm going for it. Yeah, 2.0. I'll take that one.
No, don't even got his picture, man.
It's sad. Is that a good enough grab for you, Matt? Norm Nixon. We'll go with that one. All right, 50 plus 3-pointers in the season for the Lakers.
Zubac would have been a good one too.
That would have been a good one.
Chris Kaman. For Lakers, I was trying to think like one of those bad. I don't know if he hit 150 though, but like a Jody Meeks, like something like that.
Meeks is a good name. I think he got 150 plus.
I don't know if he got 150.
Did Derek Fisher get 150?
I'm sure he did. I'm just trying to think like who was like a shooter on one of those bad Lakers teams.
Oh my God! He wasn't a shooter, but he just came to mind. Ryan Kelly was on.
I thought of Ryan Kelly. I don't think he hit 150 though.
No.
That was a dude. Immediately drop him on 2K whenever you do a Lakers franchise.
Yeah.
Fisher for sure. Yeah.
DJ Mabanga. Wow.
He didn't hit no.
No, he didn't. His name popped up.
Yeah.
We should have saved Reggie for this one because I don't know who else on the Pacers hit that much.
I thought you did put it for the Pacers. I wasn't even realizing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who else. All I know is PG and Reggie, so that's gonna be tough. We got 2 minutes left. I had 2.5 minutes. So I'm gonna put Derek Fisher here.
Okay.
Wow, he didn't.
do it.
All right. Lakers Nuggets. J.R. Smith.
Yeah, I was gonna say KCP, but yeah, either one.
Buddy Hield for the Pacers. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was trying to think of current guys.
I can't think of anybody else for the Pacers. My lord. All right, Buddy Hield. Who we just say? J.R.
Yeah, JR or KCP, either one.
KCP. Contavious.
Very
wow.
strong, very strong name.
Strong name. And now one of the other we already picked for Lakers, so we can whip on that. You can think of a Pacer and a Nugget. We got 1:45 left on the clock.
Pacer and a Nugget. And a Nug.
And Nug. Pacer Nugget. Pacer Nugget. I always want to say Gerald Green for some reason. Oh, Bruce Brown. But that should count.
Oh yeah, that would definitely count.
Yeah.
It'll be high, but go for it.
Yeah, we just want to fill out the board this time. It didn't count.
What?
Am I missing something? They update their board for whatever reason, but we're taking that to dub. We got 8 and 9 this time around, regardless of what this says. Bruce Brown definitely was there. He was just there before he got traded. Tim Hardaway would have been a good one as well. But yeah, a lot of good stuff there. Yeah, you want to do another grid? Or are we done with that?
We can do another one. What other answers did they have down there?
Let's scroll real quick. They had Roy Hibbert. Wow, big Roy.
That mother. bro forgot how to rebound when he came to the Lakers.
Oh my God. So yeah, those are the big names.
Kobe, but that's an
Reggie Cove, of course, he got his. Jokic was a good name for basket, of course. That's a high name. Yeah. Kawhi, as you mentioned, Russ. So yeah, good stuff there. Let's see what else is out there today.
You want to do one of the what's it called?
The I Call Game.
Yeah, I Call
Game. Larry got traded today, so they have him on the picture for this here. Get this out of the way. All these ads, please go away. All right. So there's this, or we can do I Call Game.
Yeah, let's do I Call Game.
All right. I Call Game. Oh, and that's the timer there. All right. Oh, another Kyle Lowry themed picture.
Didn't pop. Oh, there we go. Okay.
We have.
Well, we see what round it is.
The Raptors versus the Heat in the semis. The home team is the Raptors. I never see their logo.
Toronto, yeah.
Raptors.
It's in alphabetical, by the way, too.
Oh, okay. And then who did I say? The Heat?
Yeah, Miami.
Okay, so there's that. Bang. Next, the year East semis.
All right. So Kyle Lowry's on the team.
Bismack Biyombo.
Corey Joe, legend.
Corey Joe. That is
Ibaka.
Joe Johnson.
Is D Wade still there? No.
D Wade is still there.
Okay, so that's got to be 20.
We're being told 2016. Was that the last D Wade year?
Alpha Vivid said 2016. Because remember, he got traded to like the Cavs or went to the Cavs after for like a year.
He came back, didn't he? What was
then he came back to the Heat, right? For like
what was he has no clue, so he's joking. What was Lowry's last year? Because that was right before the Raptors started to blow things up. The Raptors won in what year?
The Raptors won in 2019, I believe.
So it's somewhere around there. Who is 4? Is that that's not it's like Strus, but that's not
Strus.
Yeah, who is that?
Is 2 like Wayne Ellington, or who is that?
This is Joe Johnson.
Oh, Joe Johnson.
It says Johnson. Didn't they say Joe Johnson played for the Heat?
I don't remember. Who's number 9 on the Heat?
Is that? I don't know why I thought Luol Deng.
Luol. Maybe Luol, was he still around? I know we were still paying him.
Loki, I think it is. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to read his name in the back.
2015 or 14? No, I don't think it's that old. Sweet spot is 2016 from where we're at right now.
Joe is that's Joe. That's
Kyle. It's Eastern
Bismack,
Eastern semis.
Joe.
So this is second round of the playoffs.
This is what's his name? Patrick Patterson. Whatever his name is. That one big. I forgot what his name is though.
Oh, that's not Ibaka. For a second, I thought that was Ibaka.
This right here.
That's Patrick Patterson.
I think it's Patterson. It don't look like Ibaka.
Okay.
No, with them generic shoes on.
Oh yeah, is that Biyombo number 8?
Biyombo over here.
Okay.
And then it's Joe Johnson, Luol Deng, D Wade.
Biyombo was still on Toronto. I remember I wanted the Lakers to get Biyombo. I'm trying to remember what year that was because he had a good year with Toronto.
Okay, maybe it's not Deng. Who is 9 for? Who is this thing? It ain't Bosch.
No, he was not number 9 either.
Right.
This team did not have Bosch, I don't think. This Heat team.
Was hold on. Was this the finals year for the Raptors when they went and won?
When they went and won? No, when they won is 2019, I believe.
And they didn't play the Heat that year?
Did they play the Heat that year?
Before they played the Sixers and went on? Because Corey Joe has a ring, don't he?
Does he? I don't know because he's been on a couple teams.
I'm trying 2019 because that was the year they won, right?
Yeah, that was the year they won. That feels too late, but you could try it.
Nope, backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another picture. Corey Joe. That is Patterson, I think.
Yeah.
DeRozan is still there. So it's before 2019.
So that's what I was saying, 2016, 2017.
It was 2016.
Yeah, it was 2016.
Yeah.
I was saying. Yeah.
All right. Next.
All right.
The game type, the semis was second round, correct?
Yeah.
The coaches. Well, Spoelstra for one is the head coach for the Heat.
Right.
Spoelstra. And then the
Raptors is
who's one coach of the year?
Before Nurse. Is it Dwayne Casey?
AC. Bang.
Hey.
The players. Okay, we set up a bunch already.
Right.
All right. Patrick Patterson.
Lowry.
Mac. Yeah. Kyle Lowry.
Always love that video of that dude shitting on Kyle Lowry.
Corey Joe, DeMar DeRozan. Was Serge on there? You said no.
He might not have played too.
No.
Who else would have been there?
Who's this?
Who is number 4, man, on the Heat? I don't know.
The Heat always had a bunch of just nobodies. I swear this is Luol Deng, though. Watch this be Luol Deng right now. Luol Deng. Bang. Yeah, it was.
Who said no? Was that Matt?
That said no.
Matt don't know ball, man.
Matt don't know. We know this. All right, back to the Raptors. Who else? Is that Damari Carroll?
Terrence Ross. Good guess as well for Toronto. You could try him.
Damari Carroll. Yep. Terrence Ross. Yep. We can get this whole roster. Who else is on that squad?
Someone said we didn't put DeRozan yet. Oh, yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah.
Patterson, Biyombo.
So we already got 7 from them. Do the Heat. D Wade looked like it was there.
Dwayne with the wide, the front. Who else did we say?
You said Joe Johnson?
Gorin.
Dragic?
Yeah. Who did you say?
You said it was Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
Would waiters have been there at this point?
Dion. Nope.
No. Okay. So we have 11, right? We need 2 more for a bang.
This is guess 13 plus for a bang.
Yeah, so we need 2 more.
Oh. It was Luol Deng, Matt. You're late. Yeah, it was. We know ball. Who is 4, dude? Oh my God.
It's a Myers Leonard looking mother, but I don't know
It
who
was
it
that
is.
one dude that could shoot. Now I think he was a lefty. It was something like McDaniels, something like that. It was something
Oh,
weird.
like you talking about like McRoberts or something?
No, oh, maybe it was John or not.
That's not him though.
There was a McDaniels though before all these guys.
Who's McDaniel? What are
Maybe
you
not.
talking about?
I thought it was Mick something. Josh McRoberts. I knew it
I
was.
said McRoberts.
Oh, you
I literally said McRoberts.
I hear you say that. Josh McRoberts. Yes.
Oh, that was him. Okay.
All right. I was like, I know this name. It's killing me. Birdman was here forever. What was Birdman's real name? Chris Anderson?
Yeah. I don't think he was still on the team, but you can try him.
Oh, maybe not. But Udonis was here forever. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, you know he was taking up space on the bench. All right, you want to do a bang now?
Yeah. Any other names for the sake of it? Any other names?
Any other names, Matt or Alpha?
Can we see the sideline at all? No. Was a young Hassan Whiteside on this squad?
Oh, you can try that.
Hassan. Nope. Jonas who? Jonas what?
Jerebko? Is that what?
Jonas, that's a great name though. Jonas.
Valanciunas is who he's talking about.
Oh, for the Raptors?
Not a bad guess.
Not a bad guess, but he wasn't here though. Whatever. We got the number. So yeah, good stuff. Anything else? You good?
No, we're good. We can move on.
All
Bang
right.
it.
Bang.
Bang it out. Nope. See all players.
Oh, my bad. Can I go back?
Yeah, you can. I think, right?
Back. Okay. See all players. Justice Winslow,
There's your Gerald Green.
There's Gerald Green finally. Tyler Johnson, Jason Thompson, of course. Oh, how did you get this? I forget. Lucas nowhere. Oh, James was over there. That's why he was up here. James Johnson up here. Okay. Norman Powell.
Norman Powell.
DeLon Wright.
Lucas Nogueira, of course.
Yeah. How can we forget? All right. Final shot. They show a picture of the last shot. I don't know who took the last shot of this game.
Right? Like we just gotta guess.
Well,
I mean, it must have been a big game.
Game 7.
Who advanced? This is 2016.
Yeah, this isn't a LeBron year.
It's probably the Raptors that advanced, right? Oh, it is a LeBron year. 2016. That's when the Cavs won.
LeBron beat the Raptors. No,
right. So the Raptors would have won this game.
The Raptors won this game.
So it's probably someone between Lowry or DeRozan. I mean, he could be a role player, but I would think Lowry or DeRozan.
Nope, not DeRozan. Was it a 1-point game?
It must have been a big game if they chose it. I don't remember this game specifically though.
It was.
There's no chance. There's no chance anyone would have got
every other name before I clicked his name, respectfully. So yeah, oh well.
Maybe it went to like a blowout or something. It was like garbage time because there's no way he was getting like meaningful minutes in that game.
I call game. We scored 77%. We got the teams the year game.
I gotta look up this game.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous. So good stuff there. Is that now it? Are we out of here, or you want to go ahead and do Immaculate Grid just to close it out?
I think we're good. I just want to find this game.
Let's get Immaculate Grid today, just for the sake of it. Kings, Nets, Hall of Fame. We do a football one. We did a football one. No, I'm not doing that shit. Never mind. I don't know. Nobody. All right. So yeah, that is it. Good stuff on the board. There is this hoop grid if you want to, but I think we're done at this point.
Oh yeah, the Raptors blew them out by like 30.
Oh, okay.
That's why Lucas Nogueira was getting the last bucket.
Garbage time minutes. Yeah. So yeah, another good episode for you guys. Good quizzes and all of that. We'll end each episode, each stream with this when you guys tune in. Definitely appreciate y'all for locking in with us. We'll be back Thursday and Friday, hope potentially. Thursday for NBA pod. Probably do a quick chill pod Friday night before the playoffs get started. Maybe we even bump it to Saturday because there's no NBA games on
Appreciate that, Alpha.
on Friday. So we might Friday or Saturday before the games on Sunday. We'll get 2 streams in and chat with you guys about what was going on. But again, we appreciate y'all chatting with us. Definitely continue to show love on the stream. Definitely appreciate you, Alpha, for tapping in yet again. Continue to tell your folks and share the stream when you can. And we'll be back later on this week. For those that are following on Twitter and YouTube, we really appreciate y'all tapping in as well. Continue to show love on there. A lot of great stuff will continue to build up here. Show love as always. We mentioned on LA Sports Report. We would love to continue to build that page up for them. And I'm excited to continue to bring great content to you guys as things go along. You'll notice for me in the upcoming weeks that my background might change. I'll be moving around a little bit over the next couple of weeks, but the show will continue. We'll go on as need be. I'm excited to wherever we're at bring the show to you guys and continue to have a fun time. So again, appreciate y'all. Any final words from you, Alec, and we'll be out of here.
No, great stream,
y'all. Follow us on Twitter. We'll chat with y'all afterwards on Twitter as well as this Laker Clipper game wraps up. And yeah, we'll see you guys again later in the week, man. Appreciate y'all. Great stream. Appreciate y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.
Deuces.